Invito a nuestro director general, el profesor Avi Meir, pase a compartir su mensaje.
Dentro del marco del mes de la tolerancia, CIM ORT, junto con Beit Halojem, institución israelí de ayuda y rehabilitación para soldados discapacitados en combate, nos traen la presencia y la palabra del señor Moshe Yaalon, ex ministro de la Defensa del Estado de Israel y ex jefe mayor del Ejército de Israel, y al Noam Gershony, medalla de oro en tenis paralímpico. Agradecemos a Beit Halojem, a sus representantes en México y a todos los involucrados el haberlo hecho posible. En estos días en los que conmemoramos el asesinato del primer ministro israelí Yitzhak Rabin hace 23 años, un asesinato que intentó silenciar las ideas con 3 balas, escuchamos los gritos de dolor de nuestros hermanos ahorita en los Estados Unidos que fueron masacrados en la cobarde ataque en la sinagoga Este, donde rezaban. Una vez más, las personas pierden la vida a causa de su religión y por poner diferente, en el lugar que consideran más seguro, la casa de oración. La comunidad judía en México envía sus condolencias a los miembros de la comunidad de Pittsburgh y manda refuah shlema por la pronta recuperación de los heridos. El poder de nuestro pueblo, depende de nuestra unión, y por eso estamos con la comunidad judía de los Estados Unidos. No existe una arma capaz de matar a las ideas y a las opiniones. Le pido a todos los presentes ponerse en pie y guardar un minuto de silencio a la memoria de nuestros hermanos asesinados en la sinagoga. Por favor, tomen sus asientos. Am Israel Chai.
Invito a la señora Rogelia Rubinstein, pase a dar unas palabras.
Buenos días, Bokerto. Hoy es un día muy especial. El Colegio CIM ORT abre sus puertas para recibir en sus instalaciones a Beit Halojem, la casa del combatiente herido. Nuestros testigos de honor son Teniente General Moshe Yaalon y el combatiente herido sobresaliente Noam Gershony. La valentía de estos 2 personajes la van a poder confirmar con sus palabras y sus videos. Jóvenes del sector escolar judío mexicano, siéntanse orgullosos de su identidad con Israel y con las figuras e instituciones que la forman. Israel es más fuerte cada día y ustedes son parte del futuro de esa fortaleza. Al apoyar a Beit Halojem, estarán apoyando a quienes no solo sirvieron al ejército, sino a quienes entregaron sus plenas capacidades en nuestra defensa. Para ellos, nuestros soldados heridos, la batalla no ha terminado. Con su apoyo saldrán adelante.
Pido a los alumnos Brian Lanfrey, Max Gittler, pasen a compartir su experiencia en la labor social.
Hola, buenos días. Les cuento un poco sobre la importancia que tiene para nosotros trabajar y estar involucrados en una asociación tan especial como Beit Halojem. Como sabemos, Beit Halojem se encarga de recaudar fondos para crear centros de rehabilitación para soldados que fueron heridos en algún momento durante su servicio. Estos soldados, como todos los soldados del Sahel, arriesgaron sus vidas para proteger a nuestro Estado, y no hay nada más gratificante que poder de cierta manera agradecer su sacrificio y valentía. Junto con los representantes de esta institución, trabajamos en una venta de garage, donde pudimos ayudar a clasificar la ropa y los objetos que estaban en venta, acomodarlos, venderlos y cuidar el lugar. Fue una experiencia muy enriquecedora, por el noble objetivo que persigue, trabajar junto a compañeros de la escuela y con la gente de esta organización, que son personas muy amables, comprometidas y con un gran corazón. Es un orgullo para nosotros ayudar a nuestros soldados heridos en Israel. No tiene precio. Por último, quiero agradecer a Beit Halojem por permitirnos estar involucrados, sobre todo a Anita Belfer y a todas las representantes, que no solo estuvieron con nosotros durante todo el proceso, sino que nos recibieron de la mejor manera y nos hicieron sentir como en casa. De verdad, muchas gracias.
שלום, בוקר טוב. ברצוננו להתחיל לספר לכם קצת עד כמה חשוב לנו לעבוד ולהיות מעורבים בארגון חשוב כמו בית הלוחם.
1
בארגון חשוב כמו בית הלוחם. בית הלוחם אחראי על גיוס כספים לצורך הקמת מרכזי שיקום לחיילים שנפצעו בשלב כלשהו בשירותם. החיילים האלה, כמו כל החיילים בצה"ל, סיכנו את חייהם כדי להגן על מדינתנו, ואין שום דבר מספק יותר מאשר להיות מסוגלים בכל דרך להודות להם על ההקרבה שלהם ועל האומץ למען כולנו. יחד עם נציגי המוסד הזה עבדנו מבחירה של דברים משומשים. במהלך העבודה נדרש מאיתנו לסווג את הבגדים והחפצים שנמכרו וכן לארגן אותם, למכור אותם ולטפל במקום. זו הייתה התנהגות משמעותית מאוד לעבוד ולהשיג מטרה זו. גאווה גדולה הייתה לעבוד במשותף עם תלמידים אמיתיים מבית הספר ואנשים האחראים על הארגון שהם מאוד אדיבים בעלי לב ענק. בשבילנו לעבוד למען החיילים הפצועים שלנו בישראל אין לזה מחיר. לבסוף, אנו מבקשים להודות לבית הלוחם על שאפשר לנו להיות מעורבים בעבודה למען ארגון זה. אבל בעיקר ענית בכל הנציגים שלא רק היו איתנו במשך כל התהליך, אלא הם קידמו את פנינו בצורה הטובה ביותר ונתנו לנו להרגיש בבית. באמת, תודה רבה.
Es para mí un gran honor invitar al general Moshé Yaalon a dar unas palabras.
שלום ובוקר טוב לאנשי בית הלוחם ותומכי תומכות בית הלוחם כאן, מנהל בית הספר, המורים. I speak in English. I'm here on behalf of Beit Halojem, so thanks to Beit Halojem supporters here, Beit Halojem representatives, the school principal, the teachers, and especially you, the young kids, the students. I was in your age, 1967, 17 years old, here before being drafted to the IDF to serve the mandatory service. I still remember the days between our Independence Day, that year, 67, to the beginning of the Six-Day War on the 5th of June. The feeling in Israel was like, could we survive another Arab invasion offensive, Arab coalition trying to annihilate, to destroy the state of Israel? Tiny country, by all means, demography, geography, but highly motivated Israel Defense Forces, CIM. In a way, we were frustrated that year because we were 17 years old, we couldn't participate in the war, we were educated to take responsibility, so we did what we had and could do. The students at that time to support the civil defense, to dig shelters in the sand near Haifa, Kiryat Chaim, the place that I was born and grew up. In 6 days, what a relief. Not anymore a tiny country, situating on the Jordan River. Not anymore a threat from the Golan Heights, from the Syrian side, not allowing our farmers to cultivate the land down in the Hula, around the Kinneret. And from the Egyptian side, going till the Suez Canal, the Sinai Peninsula, and the unification of Jerusalem. I still remember myself going to trip in Jerusalem, watching the Jordanian soldiers, the Jordanian snipers along the wall. We couldn't go to the Wailing Wall. We couldn't be in any place in the eastern side of the city. And after 6 days, what a relief. At that time, I had to decide what will be my military service. The feeling in Israel was like it would have been the last war. We defeated the Arabs. They should understand that they can't defeat them. So it might be the last war. I decided to be drafted to the military as paratrooper, but with the idea to go to the Negev at the end of my military service to establish a new kibbutz, my kibbutz, in the Arava Valley, according to Ben-Gurion, our first Prime Minister vision, to settle the desert, the Negev. My mandatory service, we were engaged in the attrition war, but I didn't think yet that security should have been the first priority. I thought about settling the Negev as the highest priority. So I released from the army after 3 years, at the end of 71, to become a kibbutz member. After less than 2 years, we were surprised and shocked. From again Arab offensive, Egyptian, Syrian, Yom Kippur War of 73. At that time, during the war, I said to myself, if I survive the war, I might go back to the military service to be commissioned as an officer in order, first of all, to replace those who fell in the operations, many officers were wounded. And that's what I did after the war. We were the first brigade, the paratroopers brigade, to cross the Suez Canal to fight in the city of Suez. But immediately after the war, I went to the officers' course to be commissioned to become platoon leader in a paratroopers battalion. Again, I didn't think about long military service. But I retired in 2005 as the Lieutenant General, the Chief of General Staff of the Israel Defense Forces. My point is that in any personal juncture in which I had to make my personal decision, what next, I didn't think just about myself. I thought about the state of Israel, the Jewish people, deserving an independent Jewish state. But in order to have it, we have to take responsibility, not just by defending the state, by taking responsibility in education in our country, in the economy, in social affairs, on any issue. And that's why was the reason that after my retirement from the military, I decided to go to politics and to become the defense minister. I would like to tell you about our well-known secret. What does it mean, well-known secret? Yes, we are still a tiny country, geographically, demographically. When it comes to quantities, our enemies around us are more. We have more soldiers, we're talking about terrorists, rockets, missiles, even aircraft, tanks, whatever. But they are not able to defeat us because of our secret. And our secret is our hearts and our minds. Spirit, Jewish spirit, and knowledge. This is our secret. That's why we have strong military might, the Israel Defense Forces. That's why we have what we call startup nation, to be in the state of the art and technology. Our prosperous economy is based on high-tech, on knowledge, and part of it is spirit. What does it mean? It means that each of us, Israelis as well Jewish in the diaspora, should take responsibility for the future of the Jewish people and the state of Israel. Each of us. And this is our source of strength. Nowadays, Israel doesn't face what we call a conventional type threat. There is no armed forces around us which are able to defeat the IDF. But they decided to go to different type of threats. Whether it is the nuclear, which they tried, so far they failed, Iraq, Syria, Iran is still a challenge for the future, but we claim, or by one way or another, this military nuclear project in Iran should be stopped. But for meanwhile, they target our own civilians. By terror attack, when I served as the Chief of General Staff, we dealt with what they called Al-Aqsa Intifada. And we went to defensive shield operation to annihilate the terror infrastructure everywhere. Rockets, missiles, terror rockets and missiles, the same concept. Not to be engaged with the IDF, but to hit deliberately the Israeli civilians. They sought to believe that the Israelis might give up the idea of a Jewish state. They thought about shelter. Yes, it is shelter for us. But the Israeli public, the Israeli society didn't surrender. Neither in the time of what they call Al-Aqsa Intifada, the suicide bombing attacks, rockets launched by Hezbollah from Lebanon, or from Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad from Gaza. The Israeli society demonstrated resilience, endurance, and not surrender. This is again a source of strength, spirit, and knowledge. Knowledge in developing and manufacturing Iron Dome, David Sling, all kind of defensive measures, enjoying intelligence superiority, operational superiority, and yes, it is hearts and mind, spirit and knowledge. But in the end, the spirit of the Jewish people, understanding the importance of the Jewish state, making people to be committed to the Jewish state, and to take responsibility in Israel as in the diaspora for the future of the Jewish people and the Jewish state. This is a key element in which each of us have to make his own decision. How can he take responsibility? We just witnessed the tragic terror attacks, the murder of Jews in Pittsburgh, in the United States. Anti-Semitism is still active. Unfortunately, I can't see it disappearing. Whether it is jealousy, as we, the Jewish, are so successful, whether it was because of other reasons, it might be neo-Nazi ideology, it might be radical Islam, it might be whatever. In this case, we should be unified. Unification is a critical element for our future, in Israel as in the diaspora. Part of our activities, and that's why I am here, is supporting our wounded soldiers. It is part of how can we enhance our strengths regarding the spirit of the people. We have here Noam Gershony, who was wounded in a battle. I also was injured in a battle in Lebanon, 85. The whole idea of Beit Halojem is to allow soldiers who are injured or wounded in the military rehabilitation, medical, physical, mental, to go back to become productive, to enjoy dignity, well-being. This is the idea of Beit Halojem. I claim that this is one of our national security assets, to strengthen the ability of the Israeli society to stand. This is about the wounded soldiers, this is about the fallen soldiers and their families, how to strengthen them, not to surrender, to go on with their life, with all the pain, with all the vacuum created because of the tragic event. And Beit Halojem in Israel, dealing with about 50,000 wounded soldiers, giving them all the options, the facilities for rehabilitation, to bring them back to normal life as they can, according to their disabilities. This is the idea. And that's why we are here. To call you to take responsibility, to support Beit Halojem, as part of our strengths, as part of our future as a Jewish state in our tough neighborhood, the Middle East. Celebrating 70 years of independence. For me, it seems like a miracle. I was born 2 years after the creation of the state, 1950. My mother arrived to the land of Israel at the end of 1946 as a Holocaust survivor. She met my father, who came to the land of Israel, Eretz Israel, 1925. He was 15 years old when my grandparents from my father's side decided to leave everything in Ukraine after losing one of their sons, my uncle. He was murdered at the age of 18 because he was Jewish. We were talking about anti-Semitism. Another son was arrested because of Zionist activities. My grandparents were from Beit Zion, as we call it. So we left everything over there, and they went to Zion, to Jerusalem. My grandparents, from my mother's side, perished in the Holocaust in 1942. I'm sure that any Jewish, they prayed next year in Beit Jerusalem. I'm sure they didn't even imagine that 6 years later, the Jewish people will have a Jewish state, independent Jewish state. For sure, they didn't imagine that the grandson will have the privilege to serve the country as a paratrooper, as a chief general staff, or as defense minister. That makes me optimistic regarding the future of our country. But the future of our country is dependent on the readiness of each of us to take responsibility for the future of our country. As long as we spend on educating the young generation here in Mexico City, as well as in the other places in diaspora, not talking about Israel, that each of us should take responsibility to understand it is not so obvious that we have a Jewish independent state for 70 years, after 2,000 years in exile. It is not so obvious. And in order to keep the Jewish state forever, each of us should take responsibility. I urge you to take responsibility. Am Israel Chai.
Invito ahora a Noam Gershony a compartir su mensaje.
Hola. Español, inglés, hebreo. No hablo mucho. We'll do it in English, I'm sorry. First of all, I'm very honored to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very excited. And the General, Moshe Yaalon, was my commander when I was serving. And it was in my graduation ceremony when I finished flight school, so I'm very honored and excited to be here, sitting next to him. To me, he's still the commander. I still call him Mfaked, but that's between us. And as you've seen, I was injured protecting Israel during my military service. And first of all, I have to say that I don't regret any decision I've made. Israel is a complicated country, and as Israelis, we have to and we want to protect Israel and Israelis and the Jewish nation. And yeah, I was injured in the Second Lebanon War, and try to imagine, I woke up one day in the hospital, and I didn't remember what happened to me, and all of a sudden my life changed. And from being an Apache helicopter pilot who thought everything is possible and the sky is the limit for me, all of a sudden I can't, when I woke up I couldn't speak, I couldn't move my arms or my legs. I didn't know what's going to happen. And I had a hard time in the hospital trying to understand what's going on with me and how can I recover. And it took me a long time. You've seen a video clip of 5-6 minutes maybe, but it took me 2.5 years to be able to walk. I was sitting on a wheelchair for 2.5 years, and for me, walking, being able to stand on my 2 feet was a dream. Each and every one of you, for them it's very basic. You don't even think about how easy it is for you to stand and to walk and to run and to play soccer and football and basketball and tennis and to go to the beach, to go to the pool. All of these things I couldn't do at first. And in the hospital, I had a few very hard nights there. And the parents of my friends who were killed in the Lebanon War, the Second Lebanon War, they came to visit me in the hospital. And after their visit, I decided that I would never get depressed from my mental or physical status because I'm alive. I'm the lucky one. So I decided that I'm going to get over it. And I had a lot of ups and downs, and you know, you're young, you will have ups and downs, you will have things and dreams and goals you will want to achieve, but sometimes it will not be easy. For me, as I said, being able to walk took 2.5 years. I get up on my feet and I fall, and I have to get up again, and I have to fall again, and I have to fail again. This is how my life looks today. Nothing is easy, nothing comes easy on the first time for me anymore. You're still young. You will have things that will not happen for you for the first time or the second time. I want to tell you, my commander was talking about the Jewish spirit and the human spirit. I want to tell you, don't lose hope. Keep trying, and eventually you will succeed in achieving everything you want, because I believe everyone have a lot more powers than I can ever imagine. You just need to, you need to be important enough for you. You need to make a decision, and you need to believe in yourself. Now I want to talk about Beit Halojem. You have to understand, Israel, it's an amazing country, amazing people, but it's a new country. And being disabled and have a physical disability in Israel, it's not easy, because not everything is accessible for people with physical disabilities. And when you get out of the hospital, the first thing you lose is your self-confidence and the belief that you can get back to do what you wanted to do and what you used to do before you were injured. So for me, Beit Halojem was the place that it all happened. My life changed there, because there you can do whatever you want to do. I was playing tennis there, I tried basketball, swimming, everything I wanted to do. And Beit Halojem is a place of hope for people that sometimes thought things are not possible for them anymore. And I owe my life today and all of the things that I achieved. Beit Halojem supported me during my tennis career, and they believed in me when I was not even a good player, but they thought I had potential, and they believed in me, and they sent me to play all over the world. And thanks to them, my life has changed. And today I believe in myself. There's nothing I can do today. And I have to tell you that my life today is amazing and beautiful, because I can focus on the things that I can do. I don't look on the things that I can do. I'm not stuck looking at all the things that I've lost. This is not for me. This is not a recipe for good life. My life is great because I'm able to focus on the things that I can do. I want to wish you all to be able to stop and just look on what you have in life, all the things that you can do, and I believe your life will be much more happy. And the strength of the Jewish nation come from us being united. I want to ask you one small thing. Stay connected. First of all, in the Jewish community here, but also to Israel. Come visit us in Israel. Come visit us in Beit Halojem. See for yourself. See with your own eyes this amazing place. And thank you very, very much.